We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels better than Okada.
How do you not get 50 after Monday Night Raw?
Good evening from Swansea, South Wales, wrestling fans. I am your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is a Monday, which means it's a Mailbag Monday, meaning we'll be answering the hot takes which you guys have submitted to us. And I think we had a record number of submissions today as well, but we have picked the best four. And trust me, I have a feeling some of this show is going to get heated. But before we get into the mailbag, I need to introduce the panel, and let's kick things off over in California. The man who probably does more podcasts than anybody else in professional wrestling media. How are you, Clark?
I'm fired up to be here. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Mailbag Monday. We've got mail. I'm stoked about it. This is technically my second of the day. So to your point, it's a podcast heavy day for me. But I'm fired up. Happy Monday. Let's get after it.
Breaking news, Clark has been cancelled.
No, it's not true. I see this from
DCX Warlord in the chat.
First
Clark
off,
is a fraud.
I'll
he follows
right
Cody
away.
Rhodes.
I'll address this right away. If you expected me to not follow Cody Rhodes, then you don't even get it, because you have to scout your enemy. If I can't see what I'm up against, then I don't know what to do. So I must scout my enemy. It's the nature of the beast. When you get into a rivalry like me and Cody have, and you know, obviously this is one of the, since he finished the story, this is obviously the best rivalry he's had going, is with me on the internet. It's why he ditched the tie clips. You know, he's listening. I know he's scouting me too. So of course I have to follow him.
Do you know what? I'm actually not entirely sure, Clark. I'm actually not sure if you know this. Cody Rhodes genuinely followed us on Twitter like a week ago.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
He might know.
He hears.
He actually might know your bit at this point. He might be watching right now.
He knows. He could be anywhere. That's why I got to have him scouted. That's why I have to follow him. Everyone knows.
Let's see. Cody loves Clark, says, "Han't you?"
He
Fernando really disappointed in Clark there. And Zach is saying National Chicken and Waffles Day.
I'm hitting Roscoe's. Game over. Yes.
I tried it for the first time a couple of months ago because it does not exist in the UK, but it existed in this restaurant. I tried it and I don't get it. But also joining us today, we have a fan favorite here at Wrestling Republic. We have Angie. How are you, Angie?
Hey guys, what is up? Did you miss me? Because I missed you guys. I was gone for a little too long. Decided to do a little bit of traveling, and now I'm back with Wrestling Republic, and I'm so happy that I'm here for this Mailbag Monday. Also,
Absolutely.
Clark, what? What do you mean? What do you mean that you have to follow your enemies?
You gotta know. I gotta have him scouted.
Is this a scouting tactic?
How do I not know his next move? I have to know his next move.
To be fair, this is beyond kayfabe too. I mean, me and Clark had a conversation in real life the other day about following enemies. So it's true. It's his philosophy in life when it comes to this stuff. But TCX Warlord says Wales and England are where the best wrestlers in the world were born. That's a fact.
Fair.
I mean, I
Also
don't
proud of
actually
you,
know many
Ben,
Welsh
for
wrestlers.
trying chicken and waffles. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you got a chance to try it. But when you had it, did you make sure to have a piece of waffle and a piece of chicken on the same fork?
I did.
Okay. With the
And I
maple
thought
syrup?
to myself, yes, I actually did. And I thought to myself, what is this? It feels like I'm eating my dessert and my main course in one go.
Yeah, it's a
That's
lot.
the beauty of it.
I love it.
I couldn't believe it, but something else which I can't believe is this first hot take, right? Because it is submitted to us via James_McGrath_20 on Instagram, who says Brock Lesnar should be Cena's final opponent. It makes sense story-wise. Now, I'm actually not going to dispute the second half of that sentence, because based on the story they have told, it does make sense. But in actuality, Clark, I don't want to see a single universe where Brock Lesnar retires John Cena. Why, oh why, in the words of you, what are we doing here if this is the case?
I can't. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed in the idea of Lesnar versus Cena as the final match. I hear the hot take. I get why. It scares me to death that this is going to be the case. Please, I'm begging. I'm asking as much as I can ask. Please, not Cena Lesnar for the final match. Anything but that virtually. I've been critical of other ideas. This is as bad as any of them. It's not worse than Cardona, but just only marginally. Just not Lesnar. Don't do that. I want to see Cena's final match look closer to what happened with AJ recently. And I don't know who needs to be on the other end of it, but it's not Brock Lesnar. And that's where my head's at on this. I'm just begging. Absolutely no.
I really, really hope this isn't the case, because I'm on the same wavelength, to you. I don't want to see it happen, but it could well happen. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, because look, he has 4 dates left. So they have, not only that, 3 of those dates, by the way, are Survivor Series. 2 Raws before Survivor Series, then Survivor Series, and then suddenly his final match. So how are we going to tell a story in that time? I'm not going to go on another rant about it. I did it the other day. But the fact is, it's going to have to be a story which has already been created, which they are building on. And that's why it does scare me. It could be the case. Samir.30 over on Instagram has the same fear as well. But I agree with Fernando Zayas. Cena should be putting over a hot young talent. But Angie, what is your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I don't like the idea of giving Lesnar 2 retirement matches. Like, he already got The Undertaker. He don't need John Cena too. Like, I feel like it would be to a point where it's going to be overkill for him. Like, I think if anything, I feel like someone else should be that last match for him. Heck, I would even like I would like it more if it was like, say, Rey Mysterio or something, because they also had a pretty nice rivalry at one point as well. It was more friendly than it was like, that butting heads kind of thing, like it was with like Randy Orton or Edge or anything like that. But I would rather it be something like that, to where like he has a proper send off, not Brock Lesnar, because oh boy, he will never let it down. Like, it was the same thing with The Undertaker. It would be the same thing with John Cena. Like, Brock Lesnar will absolutely eat up the attention that he would get for it. Maybe they might do it just for that reason, but at the same time, like, I feel like it would just be really disappointing.
I do completely agree with you. And if they were to do, to your point, someone like an Edge, I don't think it's possible to make it happen. But if it was, that would just be a complete, perfect way to end it.
Given the Andrade conversations we had this week, I think Edge is even now further out of the equation than he was at one stage.
I'm going to be honest, Clark. I thought you were about to suggest Andrade.
No.
You started that sentence.
No. I'm just saying, given those conversations.
Andrade.
No. For me, I think the most... what my hope would be, this isn't my prediction, my hope would be you get Cena and Dom IC title, check the last box on the list at Survivor Series in San Diego. Makes perfect sense with Dom Mysterio, as Angie mentioned, the history with Rey as well.
Yeah.
And then I think the final match is actually Sheamus. Given the IC title thing, and to sort of reinsert Sheamus back into the main event picture, because Sheamus isn't retiring anytime soon. Sheamus is still going. We've mentioned age stuff earlier this week on not this program, but a separate one on this platform. And I actually think Sheamus would make a lot of sense here. He's not the young talent that necessarily you're looking for, Ben, but the story adds up. He's able to win the Grand Slam. It reinserts him back into the mid card. It moves him back up into a position that he should be in. And it's something I think he also kind of deserves.
For those of you who weren't watching, I think Friday's show, Clark got himself in a little bit of trouble for stealing Anthony's take and claiming it as his own. Well, in this case, either DCX Warlord or Numero One, I think it was Numero One Superfly actually, suggested that exact same thing multiple times on our comments. But I do love it. I love it when they say it, and I love it when you said it, Clark, too, because it does make sense. It would complete two stories. I don't think Sheamus needs it.
Now that one I didn't
like,
steal from Anthony, by the
Lesnar.
way. I actually called the Sheamus thing in like way back when I first said that Dom would be at Survivor Series. I called it long before Anthony said that one.
Podcast Grifter isn't where I saw it, but Podcast Grifter's apparently saying it as well. I think it was Numero One Superfly who's been saying it.
Yeah, if you go back hundreds of episodes, well before 1,000.
Hundreds.
And look,
wow.
I first suggested the final match being Sheamus in like May.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough. I take it back. I take it back.
I've suggested 5 or 6 others as the final match since. So if you want to say that, then yeah, you can do that. But I absolutely did suggest it for the first time months on end ago.
Fair enough.
I'm kind of sad about
backing you up. Yes. What is it?
I'm kind of sad of the fact that we can't have Triple H be that final match. Like, I know he's retired. I get it. I know he's too busy just running the company at this point. But
Triple H's retirement tour is the finger point photos. That's what the retirement tour he got for his career. That's
but it would be so cool if it was, though. It would have been really cool if we had that one last chance to see Triple H versus John Cena, because that was also a really big rivalry. Actually, if anything, you know what I like most about this retirement tour for John Cena?
What?
I love the fact that every match that he winds up being in, he has this moment with his opponent where they're pulling the finishers for previous rivalries and everything. I love the callbacks. It's so wonderful, because all of the ones that Cena does, especially in the match with AJ Styles, is all the ones that he had to be put through. Like seeing him put the accolade on AJ Styles. Like I saw someone did like an edit to where like it was like the top part was the actual match and then a previous match with that rivalry. Like it was so wonderful. I thought that
it
was
absolutely
a really nice touch.
was. And yeah, in an ideal world, I'd absolutely love to see Triple H be the final match for John Cena, but of course, he's got a pacemaker now. Forget Peacemaker; it would be Peacemaker versus Pacemaker. So that one's not really on the cards.
Oh, wow, that was good.
And you were saying Eugene Cena, and Kafka's K is saying Rock does make sense history-wise as well. I don't think it's possible though. I just don't think he's got the time, does he? Really? But I don't know. But up next, guys, we've got to move on to the next question, because the next question is submitted by Jose99, Numero One Superfly, who says his hot take is TNA's pay-per-view quality in 2025 has been bad. Clark, you've had a lot of thoughts on TNA wrestling, good, bad, indifferent, but I want to get your thoughts on this hot take right here.
I hate to do this, but I agree. It just has not been a great year. There have been excellent moments throughout the year for TNA, but it's weirdly been overshadowed. And I feel like I'm sitting around here and watching TNA and I'm getting NXT, and I cover NXT every Tuesday. I'm not saying it's been bad. Bad is a stretch. It has been a step down from previous years. And I point to the moment that Scott D'Amore left. This feels completely different TNA-wise than previous years, than what I was looking for, than what I expect from TNA. It feels a little diet WWE. It does. I really love the talent on the TNA roster. I enjoy the weekly product, truthfully, more than I've enjoyed the pay-per-views this year. My issues lie in the big moments feel mostly nostalgia related. If we point at the most recent one, I really enjoyed Dudley's Hardys because I felt 11 for a second. Then I realized that they were all 50. And it was like, okay, it was awesome, but there's certain moments it feels so close because there's so much great talent. I just think the expectation when it comes to TNA pay-per-views is so high because of the history of the company. And this year has been a step down. And I point to the moment that Scott D'Amore was let go, because I think Scott D'Amore booked pay-per-views and had that train rolling down the tracks as hard as anybody. And that I think is the moment that things sort of just got just a little bit one notch below what our already high expectations are.
I mean, that's fair enough. And you know how Batman has the bat signal, right? So you know how to, alert him really quickly. With Drizzy, that's a hot take for about TNA,
Yeah.
right? Because he's in the comments right now. He is not having any of this. He's a big TNA guy. But to your point, Clark, and to, what he's saying as well, you're saying the weekly product is good, but what is bad is the pay-per-views. And honestly,
yeah.
I
would say
disagree.
Bad might be too harsh. I would say they're just not up to the expectations that have been set by TNA in the past. It's a
or
down
even
year.
just set by everybody else in wrestling, honestly.
Right. Yeah. For that reason. And it doesn't mean I'm not watching them. It doesn't mean I'm gonna right. I'm not sitting here like, well, shoot. I just felt like there was some to be desired this year in particular. And that's what's interesting, is because it's specifically 2025. If we're talking about over the last 2 years, completely different perspective there. I thought 2024 was a great year for TNA pay-per-views, right? And so you're always compared to your last big win, I feel like, almost in anything you do. And that makes things more difficult. But yes, I do feel like this has been a bit of a downturn for TNA when it comes to the pay-per-view events.
I've got a hot take, but before I give it, shout out to Melissa sending in a super sticker. Shout out, thank you so much. But I have a hot take, Clark. I have a hot take about this, and the hot take is this. I've never watched a TNA pay-per-view which I think has actually lived up to the hype.
Whoa, that's interesting. Never in your life?
Never. Admittedly, I didn't see one before 2016, so that's a big disclaimer.
Okay.
But
That's
even
fair.
still, I've never seen one where every single time I've watched it and been like, for the match quality this card had going into it, I don't think it's delivered. Sometimes it's been production, sometimes it's been matches under-delivering, sometimes it's been not the greatest commentary work, but every time I come out of it thinking, I think that could have been a lot better. And I can say that about certain WWE, certain AEW pay-per-views, but I can say it, to be honest, about all TNA ones I've seen.
I think that's actually fair. Okay, vintage TNA I loved. So and I'm talking way back, when you were little, right? I'm talking early days.
I would have been 5.
Yeah, at best. And
actually, maybe younger, maybe 3.
Yeah,
might have been
2 or 3. I think TNA, the Impact, the rebrand. Again, I thought Scott D'Amore had something really cooking there for a bit. And I point to that moment. Now, Maple Leaf Pro, I've enjoyed thus far, but it is a little bit different. I mean, I see Drizzy's comment in there. Of course,
even Javon versus Leon Slater.
There's always highlights on these shows. I just don't believe that the show top to bottom has delivered. 2025, I'm not going to go as far as Ben. I don't necessarily.
I'll double down on it.
I've never seen. No, and that's fine. No. My point is I don't want to argue with you on that, because I could see where you're coming from. But I also just personally, I think there has been some good sprinkled. I can't point to a single event necessarily off the top of my head that I could be like, yeah, wait, that one. But there have been ones that I've walked away from that was clean. That was a high quality show, right? Felt entertained top to bottom. 2025 though, in particular, I just have felt like it's hit or miss, match to match. And that's like, I would call the show
exactly.
I would call the show spotty. And I think that's
exactly the case.
Where I'm coming from, right? Spotty.
Yeah.
Hit or miss match to match. It's not like I've never seen a card that was all bad, but I've never seen one where you can't point to like, that was a bit weak, and then that was good, and then that was a bit weak, and then that was good. So it's a lot of up and down. And yeah, it feels more stuck than bad. Let me put it that way.
They love to chuck matches on the pay-per-view, which aren't really pay-per-view matches. That's one of the things they love to do. And also, to Drizzy's point here, even Javon versus Leon, that match was fantastic. And then they TNA'd it at the end.
The finish got us.
With Dark
the
State.
finish I didn't love. I couldn't stand the finish.
That's exactly what I'm talking about with it. But Emergence apparently is one. I can't remember that card off the top of my head, so I can't dispute it. But up next, guys, we need to talk about this week in Wrestling Republic, because we do have a lot of great stuff coming up for you guys on this very YouTube channel. Of course, today, if you haven't seen it, this week's Wrestling Republic weekly podcast came out with me, Clark, and Shard. And if you haven't seen it yet, me and Shard legitimately get into a screaming match. It gets intense. We finished it, and his wife said to him, is everything okay? My girlfriend said to me, is everything okay? That's how he did that. It got, but check it out, because it is a fantastic episode where we talk about Andrade, that situation, and a lot more as well. Tomorrow will be Allison analysis, where I will be giving my 5 key findings from this week in professional wrestling from across the entire professional wrestling world. Make sure to check it out all in 10 minutes. On Thursday, me and Des are going to be doing the top 10 wrestlers under 30 right now. And on Friday, it will be the top 5 takes here at Wrestling Republic of the week. So a lot of content for you guys to look forward to. But up next, we got to go back straight into the mail, because the next question is from Isaac_Cheetah7, who says Finn Balor should win the Royal Rumble. I presume he's meaning in 2026. And Angie, I want to get your take on this out of the gates.
I saw this and I wanted to know again. My gosh, I'm sorry.
We love an animal.
They have been absolutely adamant about the idea of Finn Balor being part of the Royal Rumble. Even my dogs are just like, him winning it? I'm not sure. So I was looking at this and I wanted to more so know exactly why for this. Is this more like just a Finn Balor comeback tour or something? Like, because if that's the case, I'm all here for it. Because honestly, I feel like he deserves it, especially with the fact of splitting from the Judgment Day. I don't know if that was clear or not. But I do love the idea of him being able to win the Royal Rumble and possibly being able to get a nice little comeback tour going on. But as far as for if we're actually like talking picks on that, I don't know. I like the idea, but where would that fit story wise? Like, what would be the outcome for that proper? That would be my counter question for that. But yeah,
that's a good point.
If it did by chance be that, actually, if anything, I want AJ Styles to win.
Ooh, his final year, that'd be interesting.
In his final year, let him have that one last run with the title and everything, kind of like how they typically do when it comes down to retirement tours and everything. Like John Cena had one, so why not? Right?
Well, and you also think about AJ Styles. Historically, one of his biggest moments is at the Rumble, but I believe he's also never won one.
Yeah, AJ Styles has never won the Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let him have his win.
I will say this about Finn Balor. I love Finn Balor. I think he's one of the best people in the business. Ben, I've been wanting to say this for a while. There's nobody in WWE that needs to go to AEW and have a sick run to remind people who he is more than Finn Balor does. After all this with the Judgment Day and after all of that, there's nobody that needs it more and there's nobody that fits it better. All of that, the debut would be amazing. Bring back some music we really like and we can sing along to, like we get when we get Balor on NXT on like the Judgment Day stuff. We've talked entrance music enough times this week. It's not necessarily just about that, but get him something real cool that we can get behind. Put him in there, put him out there, let him put on an absolute 25-minute bangers week in and week out and have him remind us just who Prince Devitt Finn Balor is.
The thing is, though, as much as I'm going to be honest, I don't think it would work. And the reason why I don't think it would work is if it happened a few years ago, then sure, definitely, in fact.
I know it would
But
work.
now, I don't think he could keep up with half the AEW guys in that main event scene. Samoa Joe has the advantage because of the style he works. Finn Balor being a smaller guy, I don't think it would
Finn
work.
can keep
I
up with
don't.
anybody. There are so many amazing matches you can have, and with his charisma, the way
Yeah,
he
on
booked him
paper there are, but I mean, the guy has slowed down.
I'm telling you right now, he's slowed down slightly. He's slowed. He's also been slowed down by just horrifyingly bad booking and all kinds of other things. And Finn Balor's been slowed down by that as much as anything. Nobody in WWE needs an awesome open door AEW type run against really, really, really good competitors. Are you kidding me? Finn Balor, Kyle Fletcher? Stop it. Put it on a poster.
I think these are good on paper. I think every match is going to underdeliver to your expectations.
No way.
And I'm a big Finn Balor guy.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
I've watched all his New Japan stuff.
I'm not
I've
buying
seen
it,
all his
and here's
indie
why.
stuff.
I'm not buying it, and here's why. Bryan Danielson is a perfect example. Bryan Danielson is double as slowed down as you can say Finn Balor. Bryan Danielson had to retire due to injury and things. And guess who
I
he
think that
kept up
helped
with?
him in terms of he didn't have those.
No, it didn't.
He's also, by the way, young. Bryan Danielson's younger than Finn Balor is.
By how much?
A year.
Okay, so how old is Finn Balor?
45.
He's 45?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Really?
45.
Yeah.
So what, though? He's in great shape. What do you mean? Knock it off.
You can
He's
be
worth,
45 and be in
such
good
an
shape. What do
ageist.
you mean?
Baron, you're
Well,
such
yeah,
an
but-
ageist. You just hate
No, I'm
old
not an
people.
ageist. The fact is, Finn Balor, for 25 years or however long it's been, has worked like every week apart from like a few months. He was quite
Send
a few
him to
months
the
he was
retirement
injured
home.
in
In Ben's
2016.
words. Yeah,
Oh
send
my
him to
God.
the retirement home for sure. This guy's
I
pack it
agree
up.
with Fernando. The Finn Balor stock is too low to get a push in any promotion now. And I love Finn Balor. And I think the only place where he could win a world championship is in WWE because of his legacy. But the fact is, they needed to split up the Judgment Day 6 months ago.
45's
They needed
not
to
even
split it up
old.
a year ago if they wanted to do that. And I hope they do. I hope I'm wrong. But I don't think the answer is going anywhere else for Finn Balor because I think the outcome will be the same. He just has to be booked better in WWE. That is the only option.
First of all, he's 44. What are we rounding up these days? I just had to Google it. You know what? Knock it off. And not only that, mid 40s is plenty young. Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
right. You're
podcast
right.
scripted
He
there
is.
too.
I had
What?
wrong
Now
information.
you're adding years. Aunt, you didn't like how I said that because I was just questioning. I thought he might be late 30s. Aunt, you, that age range is young now. It's young. It's young.
It's young when you've not taken any bumps. Finn Balor has had
Oh.
one serious injury in 25 years or however
Brian
long
Danielson.
it is.
I'm 34 and I'm going to be in my 40s too soon. And guess what? My 40s is the new 40s is the new 20s.
Not
it's
when
the
you're a
Miz
wrestler, it's
effect.
not.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
The Miz also,
is.
I hate to compare the two because this is more apples and oranges, but like the Miz hasn't had like a major injury in a while. Now that I think about it, I think I can count on one hand on how many times the Miz has actually been injured. So like I can see where that train of thought would be going. But as far as for a Finn Balor winning the Royal Rumble, like I need a good story with it. Like I need something for that to really kick forward because
Yeah.
without that, everyone's going to lose interest that quickly because like what would be the point? Because
Exactly.
a good push needs a good story. A good story really makes a difference. It really does. Because the matches can be absolutely great. And then the story makes it to where people would be like, it was a good match, but why should I care, you know?
Exactly. And that's the difference as well between WWE and AEW in terms of in AEW, you have to be able to do it in the ring, right? There is obviously stories too, but you have to be able to do it in the ring. In WWE, obviously Finn Balor can still wrestle. Let me make that clear, but I'm on about, the
I don't
AEW
know.
standard is a bit higher. But in WWE, you can disguise it if you, like you said, have a fantastic story. And Finn Balor has that history. If they do it well, there's a universe where it could happen.
It's possible. And if they do decide to go forward with that, then I look forward to see exactly what kind of story they put with it, because I'm a stickler for a good story. Because honestly, like, I think that's the thing that really makes or breaks a good push is the storyline itself. There are times where even a bad match will have a really good story and people will still talk about it.
You are right there. Absolutely. We got a few comments here as well. And you giving me credit for the age thing because he played football for 17 years and he feels it. DCX says Finn looks great for his age. Finn has always looked great for his age. That dude lives in the gym. He cares about it so much. I actually spoke to a promoter years ago when I was actually training to wrestle. And the guy said to me, he was like, Finn Balor, when he came to Wales to have a couple of shows, he was in the gym like 10 hours a day. Like, it was just absolutely unbelievable. That is the dedication which he puts into it. But up next, guys, we need to move on to the final topic of the day. And this hot take is submitted by @Zach Dillahunt, who says Dean Ambrose needs to come back for WrestleMania 42 and team with Roman and Seth as the Shield one more time against the Vision. First things first, I'm going to reword this question because Jon Moxley is under AEW contract until October 2027. So it would have to be WrestleMania 44. So basically 2 years away, right? You could start this feud in exactly 2 years. So the question which I'm going to ask you guys is, one, will the Vision, with presumably a new member, still be a thing in 2 years? And if so, should Dean Ambrose, should Jon Moxley return to WWE one last time to do this dream match? Angie, kick us off here because I'm really curious to hear your thoughts.
Are we not tired of this? Are we not tired of being like, oh, we need Dean Ambrose to come back for a Shield reunion. Oh, we need Dean Ambrose. Are we not tired already? Because I am. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Because honestly, like, we are at a point where we're pretty much giving Mox the CM Punk treatment. And yes, after some time, CM Punk did come back. But this dude has really went on record and basically pulled a whole Gail Kim and said, nah, I ain't coming back. You can't make me. Nope, not happening. It's time to get to a point where we just let the dream rest. It's something that he has expressed already that he's not coming back to WWE. He's not coming back to the company. He doesn't want to. Like, if by chance, and you can clip this and show this to me later, if he decides to come back and he decides that he's actually going to do one last run with WWE, I will sit here and eat ice. Like, I will eat ice for 2 minutes because I hate how ice feels against my teeth. I will eat 2 minutes of ice if he actually comes back. Because like, brilliant. It's not something that he he's expressed of even hinting at coming back for. Like it's just something that he's expressed that he's not gonna do. Like so like I can't realistically be like, oh yeah, this will be something that would be really cool to happen, because it would be, but we know how impossible that would be. Like
Yeah, I
even
mean,
you
that-
said
that's
so, Ben.
That's true, but at the same time, impossible in wrestling. Nothing is impossible, as we have seen. But I do agree with you, and it's just a matter of fact. He has not expressed any desire to return. He is happy in AEW. But I have also said it before, and I'll say it again now. In my opinion, he should leave AEW in 2027. And the reason being is I feel like at that point, it will be the perfect point where he should leave it. Because he has done everything which he's wanted to do. He's now done the Death Rider stuff. He's going to come back surely and have a babyface run for the next year or two as well. So I think he will have done everything by October 2027, 2 years away. And at that point, coming back to WWE under a new regime, I do feel like he could leave his WWE career in a better place to where he left it previously. So personally, I hope it happens. I think it could happen, but it's probably unlikely, but I think it should happen. But what I don't think is going to happen is I don't think the Vision are going to be around in 2 years' time. So the question here is, I mean, if the Vision like do a reunion with the Shield doing a reunion, but that's a little bit too much reunions for my liking. But Clark, is it to your liking?
Absolutely no. What? Some people just want to see the world burn. John Moxley's not coming back. Now, and even if he did, even in a hypothetical fantasy world, if John Cena came back to the WWE, logically, he would want to chase Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and prove his own value in that way. I'd rather see him return as John Moxley than as Dean Ambrose. I don't need any more red wagons. Stop it. John Moxley wanted to kill that character in the first place, and we know that for a reason. The Shield is amazing for what it was. They've accomplished everything they need to accomplish. A reunion someday to go into the Hall of Fame would be amazing. But one last match, they did a whole network special for it. We saw it. That happened. It's over. Stop it. Knock it off. And then the biggest thing about it is, to me, John Moxley's the face of AEW. At the end of the day, there's no value in him making a return just to be the third man behind Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in the WWE. Not featured. Stop it. Knock it off. Absolutely no. Not only that, I haven't even addressed the Vision yet, and I will shortly. If you think that group is lasting 2 years, you're out of your mind. This thing is so done. Before that, it would be a reunion like Ben said. At best, at absolute best, there's no way. Would I like it? No. Do I think it can happen? No. Do I think it will happen? Absolutely no. And I'm at least thankful for that.
Okay, Clark, you've gotten me heated. Congratulations here, because saying that it's not going to happen is one thing and an understandable point. What is not an understandable point is to say that you do not want to see it. Hang on a second, this is one of the best factions in WWE history, at least modern WWE history, right? But the fact is, yes, they had that special in, 2018? Since then, or 2019, since then, they have had the best 5 years of all their careers. They have developed so much, they will be so different. So to see them together one last time, it would hit different. It would be special. There's a huge story that you could tell. But on your Dean Ambrose point, by the way, too, if he comes back in 2027, I think he'd probably be the top guy out of these three. And the reason for that is Roman Reigns is realistically going to be away half the time. Seth Rollins has already said he's moving to a limited schedule in his next contract. So Dean Ambrose actually probably will be in the highest card position 9 times out of 10 outside of WrestleMania.
Nah. No, I don't think so. I think you're wrong on that statement because it's still Roman Reigns. It's still Seth Rollins. We've tried to push Seth's had the injury issues. I don't need this. I don't want it. Not only that, I'd rather see John Moxley be an AEW lifer because I think his legacy will last in a different way if he does that. Yes, maybe down the road, as the dust settles, a little bit of a WWE crossover type thing where he comes back for a Hall of Fame or something like that. Sure. But I would much rather see the flag, because as much as Darby Allin held up the flag at the end of the pay-per-view this weekend at Wrestle Dream, Jon Moxley's the one that's carried it this long. And that's the reality of the situation.
But that's why it's poetic.
And
he's
why
leaving
I
it in a
don't
better
want
place than he found it.
No, I don't want it that way.
Whereas if he continues for too long, it's going to be a Jericho-like situation.
No, it
where
won't.
it's like, actually, you're
You're wrong.
starting to do more harm than good. But when you
You're
came
wrong.
in, you were doing
wrong.
so much more
No,
than...
you're looking at AEW as a rental system, but then you like WWE.
I'm not.
And you're comparing. You're not.
I'm not, because I think there's a rule that Cody goes back to AEW.
Because I mentioned Finn Balor going to AEW, and you're like, oh, I don't know, he's too old. No, stop that.
Yes.
You like the idea of a WWE lifer, but you don't an AEW lifer.
That's not
the
true.
thing. You want them all-
Sorry, that's not true.
want
How
all
many
the
people have I said
you-
should
you
go
want
to
them to
AEW?
recollect-
That's a
you want all
blatant
the
lie. That
you
is
want
a
all the
bold-faced
ducklings
lie.
Back on the pond. You want all the ducklings back on the pond. You want Edge back.
That is
you
a
want them all.
lie. I have
I
said
know
to so
exactly
many
what
people
you're
I want them
saying,
to go to
I know
AEW.
exactly
That's just
what you're
not
saying.
true.
No, you're
Not
like, you want
true.
all the
Lie.
duck- You want Edge. You want your father figure Christian back. You want them all
Oh
back.
yeah,
I know how
yeah.
it works.
Both of those guys, I said
I
going to
know
AEW
exactly
was the
how
right
this
idea.
works.
Both of those guys, I said
No,
that
I
was the
know
right
what
idea.
this is.
That's just not true. Get him, Ben, says Aunt you. I will. That was just the most nonsense spew that I have heard in quite some time.
You know what? Whatever.
I have a
What
ducky.
a joke. I didn't even notice.
That's why I said it.
You guys were going back and forth. I'm sitting over here just ducky.
That's what I said. You wanted. That's why I said you wanted all the ducks back on the pond.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that perfect note, guys, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you, Clark. Thank you, Angie, for joining me here today. And thank you to everybody in the comments throughout. We've loved having you here. And we will be back same time, same place tomorrow to talk a little bit of Monday Night Raw. See you guys then. Ba 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 ba.